Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the IQGEO Group PLC AGM Proceedings. Throughout this presentation, investors will be in listen-only mode. I'd also like to remind you that this presentation is being recorded. I'd now like to hand you over to Paul Taylor, Non-Executive Chairman. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the annual general meeting of IQGEO Group PLC, which has been convened at 2 p.m. My name is Paul Taylor and I'm the company's Non-Executive Chairman. I'm also delighted to introduce you to Richard Petty, our Chief Executive Officer, Hayward Chapman, our Chief Financial Officer and Company Secretary, Ian Kershaw, our Non-Executive Director, Robert Sanson, Non-Executive Director, and Max Royd, our Non-Executive Director. Due to the measures recently introduced to limit the spread of COVID-19, attendance at this annual general meeting is restricted. Whilst the company is always in favour of engagement with our shareholders, on this occasion we decided that we should prohibit attendance by external shareholders so as to reinforce or support the measures designed to reduce the spread of COVID-19. As a result, external shareholders were strongly recommended to vote electronically prior to the meeting to ensure their votes were counted. Similarly, the right to appoint proxy was also restricted so that shareholders could only appoint the chairman of this meeting as their proxy. I'm pleased to say that the shareholders have adhered to these requests. I'm very grateful to the shareholders for doing so. Those shareholders who wanted to follow the meeting or who wish to ask questions or speak have been able to join via the dial-in facilities. Please note that the shareholders who have dialed into the meeting do not form part of the meeting or count towards a quorum. Notwithstanding, this quorum of members is present and therefore I declare the meeting open. We will undertake the formal part of the meeting first and there will then be an opportunity to ask more general questions about the company and its business. I would therefore ask that anyone who is following the progress of the meeting by telephone or who has general questions relating to the company to wait till these questions, to wait with those questions until the formal business is concluded. You should have all received a copy of the company's annual report and accounts for the year ending 31st December 2020, which is published on the 16th of April 2021. The notice convening the AGM was circulated on the 16th of April 2021, so if there are no objections, I will take the notice as read. Given that shareholders have voted by proxy in advance of this meeting, and given that there are only 3 of us present here in person, I have decided that the voting will take place by way of poll. This means that shareholders present in the meeting for quorum purposes will each complete a poll cards and the company secretary who detail the votes cast by proxy and the votes submitted electronically in advance of this meeting will complete the poll card for me to sign. As a result of this, we will actually know the results of each poll in relation to each resolution as we go through the meeting. I will now proceed to put each resolution to the meeting so the voting can take place by way of the poll procedure. The resolutions. Resolution 1. The first resolution set out in the notice convening the AGM is to receive and adopt the company's annual financial statements for the year ending 31st December 2020, together with the directors' reports and the auditors' report on those accounts. Are there any questions on the first resolution? No? Sorry. As there are no further questions, I now propose the ordinary resolution of the annual financial statements for the financial year ending 31st December 2020, together with directors' reports and the auditors' reports on these financial statements as being received as adopted. As indicated at the start of the meeting, poll cards have now been completed by those shareholders present and in person by proxy. I therefore declare the poll closed. A simple majority of those voting must be in favour. I can now declare Resolution 1 to have passed as an ordinary resolution. Resolutions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. The next 6 resolutions are ordinary resolutions which relate to the re-election of Hayward Chapman, myself, Ian Kershaw, Andy McLeod, Richard Petty, Max Royd and Robert Sanson as directors of the company. Are there any questions on these resolutions? As there are no further questions, I now propose as an ordinary resolution that Hayward Chapman be re-elected as a director. I declare the poll closed. Thank you. I declare Resolution 2 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. I now propose an ordinary resolution that I, Paul Taylor, be re-elected as director. I declare the poll closed. A simple majority of those voting must be in favour. Thank you. I declare the resolution 3 to have passed as an ordinary resolution. I now propose as an ordinary resolution that Ian Kershaw be re-elected as a director. I declare the poll closed. Thank you. I declare resolution 4 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. I now propose as an ordinary resolution that Andy McLeod be re-elected as director. I declare the poll closed. Thank you. I declare resolution 5 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. I now propose as an ordinary resolution that Richard Petty be re-elected as director. I declare the poll closed. Thank you. I declare resolution 6 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. I now propose as an ordinary resolution that Max Royd be re-elected as director. I declare the poll closed. Thank you. I declare resolution 7 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. I now propose as an ordinary resolution that Robert Sanson be re-elected as a director. I declare the poll closed. Thank you. I declare resolution 8 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. Resolution 9. The next ordinary resolution relates to the reappointment of Grant Thornton UK LLP as the company's auditors and the authority of the directors to determine the remuneration of the auditors. Are there any questions on this resolution? As there are no questions, I now propose as an ordinary resolution that the auditors Grant Thornton UK LLP be reappointed to hold office from the conclusion of this meeting until the conclusion of the next general meeting of the company which accounts are laid, and that the directors be authorised to determine the remuneration of the auditors. I declare the poll closed. I declare resolution 9 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. Resolution 10 relates to the company's ability to issue further shares. As you know, other than in certain limited circumstances, the directors may only issue further shares if authorised to do so by shareholders. Resolution 10 will be proposed as an ordinary resolution, seeks authority section 551 of the Companies Act 2006 for the directors to allot further shares in the company in certain circumstances. Firstly, up to an aggregate nominal value of £382,082, which represent approximately 1/3 of the issued share capital of the company. And secondly, up to an aggregate nominal amount of £764,163, which represents approximately 2/3 of the issued share capital of the company in connection with fully preemptive rights issue. This authority will expire on the early of the next annual general meeting, and the date which is 15 months after passing of this resolution, and it is the board's current intention to seek renewal of these authorities at each future general meeting of the company. With your permission, I will take the text of the resolution 10 as read. Thank you. As there are no questions on the resolution. Sorry, I should have said, are there any questions on the resolution? As there are no questions, I now propose resolution 10 as an ordinary resolution. I declare the poll closed. I declare resolution 10 to have been passed as an ordinary resolution. Resolutions 11 or 12 are special resolutions to renew the directors' authority to allot shares for cash without first offering them to existing shareholders on a pro rata basis. Although there is currently no intention to make use of these authorities, the directors consider that it is in the best interest of the company in certain circumstances for the directors to have limited flexibility so as to be able to allot shares without having first to offer them to existing shareholders. The authority sought by the resolutions 11 and 12 is limited other than in relation to any rights issue, open offer or preemptive issue, to shares having an aggregate nominal value of £114,624, corresponding to approximately 10% of the issued share capital of the company. Resolutions 11 and 12 have been split into two separate resolutions in accordance with investor guidance on the disapplication of preemption rights. Accordingly, if Resolution 11 is passed, the company will be allowed in any 1 year to issue non-preemptively for cash any amount equal to 5% of the company's issued share capital for any purpose. If Resolution 12 is also passed, the company will also be allowed in any 1 year to issue non-preemptively for cash an additional amount equal to an additional 5% of the company's issued share capital but only in connection with one or more acquisition or specified capital investments. These authorities will expire at the end of the company's next AGM, and it's the board's current intention to seek renewal of these authorities at each future AGM of the company. With your permission, I will take the text of resolution number 11 and 12 as read. Are there any questions of these resolutions? As there are no questions, I now propose resolution 11 as a special resolution. I declare the poll closed. I declare resolution 11 to have been passed as a special resolution. I now propose resolution 12 as a special resolution. I declare the poll closed. Thank you. I declare resolution 12 has been passed as a special resolution. That completes the formal business of the meeting. Thank you for your attendance, and I now declare the formal business of the meeting closed. We'll now proceed to run through general questions of the company and its business.
Paul, thank you very much indeed. We don't have any questions that have come through, and therefore, on that basis, if you're happy, we will happily conclude today's meeting.
Yes, thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for those in attendance.
On behalf of the management team of IQGEO Group PLC, we'd like to thank you for attending today's AGM proceedings. That concludes today's presentation. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.